Hi, my name is Anatola Araba Pabst, and I'm the writer-director of Light and Dark. And you're watching The Journey on Sophisticated Cat. Well, I've been an artist for as long as I can remember, and I began with visual arts and painting and performing. When I was in high school, I took a 12-week filmmaking intensive at the New York Film Academy, and I fell in love with it. I was a drama student at LaGuardia High School, and I loved how it let me have that performance element of acting, but be able to tell the stories instead of be in the stories. Then I took another 12-week filmmaking intensive at NYU, which is where I go now to study filmmaking. And I was able to create 5 films, which won awards for young filmmakers. And it really put me on my journey of being able to tell the stories that I want to through film. That balance of the light and the dark is so important because we don't just exist in a state of all light or a state of all dark. We need both sides to fully experience what we're supposed to here. And so many good things also come with an underbelly. A success comes with long history of practice and focus and sacrifice. So a lot of beautiful things. Also, just like a tree grows as high, it also has roots that go as far down into the ground. And so that is why light and dark have to be seen as a pair. I came up with the concept for the film Light and Dark while I was already in Bali, Indonesia, visiting my mom. And we were staying in a booth, and I had a vision of a film with the first shot being the sunrise and the last shot being the sunset. And I knew that I wanted to make a film about how the sunrise and the sunset being the darkness and the light and what that means to us. So it didn't take very long to know that I wanted to explore what light and dark meant and how those forces impact us. And it only took a couple of days to finish writing the script while I was in Bali. And then we had the idea crystallized and we went out and shot all of the different parts while before the trip was over. There's a reason why I chose to go with the title Light and Dark instead of Light versus Dark. A lot of the times when we think of elements of light and dark in our world, we want to be the light and shine more light and then just shoo out the darkness. But in reality, if any one of the light and dark forces were completely gone, the world wouldn't be the world as we know it because we live in this balance of light and dark, the yin and the yang, so we can't have one without the other. In the film, I have a line that says that I want to be like the sun, which shines onto everyone without discrimination. And what I meant by that line is that when we regard other people, we don't have to judge or categorize them. And a lot of people divide people into different categories of their labels, race, gender, or upbringing. And I just wanted to regard people with a common unconditional love with from whatever background that they come from and understand that everyone is a natural part of nature and deserves to be regarded with the same understanding as everyone else. If you want to shine unconditional love, support, positivity onto others, it starts with an understanding and acceptance of yourself. I know that there is good and bad and light and dark within everyone, and maybe there are some dark parts of yourself that you wish you can hide away, but just by bringing it to the light and accepting it, it's so much easier to accept other people. And one way that I think about it is if you saw a tree or plant in nature that was crooked or a little bent, you would understand that it's that way because of the sunlight and the nourishment that it gets, and you wouldn't judge it from being like that on its own. And people are really similar. We come from different places and have different people and support systems around us, and that really shapes us into who we are. And it doesn't mean you have to like or love everyone. It just means that you're understanding and you give them just space to be who they truly are. There is also a part in the film where I explain the feeling of having creation create through you. And what I mean by that feeling is sometimes I feel like I'm guided when I create something, especially when I'm writing the script for a film idea, or if I'm making a painting and just beginning to have the blueprint of it. I feel like I ask myself what I need to bring into the world, because so many different art pieces can be created, but what's the one that's really going to resonate with people? And then when I really look into that answer, I feel like I'm guided to the next stage, and I'm guided to what really wants to be brought forth from me at that moment. And that's the feeling of having creation create through you, that there's this higher guidance of what to create, and you're tapped into that creative energy in order to bring it out. I apply my life experiences into my art by really taking the lesson or whatever nugget of wisdom I get from any situation that I'm in and any hardships or experiences. And I take the lesson that I learned from it and try to put it into my art and put the message that I learned from it into whatever I create. A lot of what I've learned comes from my mom and the way she raised me, and also some of the challenges she's gone through in her lifetime that have made me into a better person. She's done a lot of things that are controversial, and people may not assume that that's the best road to take, but she's taught me to always follow your passion and to follow what you really believe in deep down inside. And she's really taught me to embrace my creativity and not let it go and grow out of it, but to continue nourishing it so that it can help other people. For example, my mom walked away from a 12-year career as a professor. For 2 years she taught at Harvard, and for 10 years she taught at Yale, teaching African American studies. And she walked away from that career to pursue her calling as an intuitive consultant, where she helps people through life coaching and intuitive readings using tarot cards or crystals and other means like that to help people find what their purpose is and connect to that truth. And in a traditional sense, going from a Yale professor with a lot of societal values, something like that isn't a traditional choice to make. And you take a lot of risk in throwing your hat over the fence to pursue that choice. But that's what she felt called to do, and she chose to give up that status of being a professor. She knew that she could be a better influence to people and help people with the gifts that she has. So that taught me that you want to make the choices in your life based on what you think can help people the most and what you think can have a biggest contribution, especially if you know what you want to do and you know what your purpose may be. And once you're connected to that mission that you want to carry forth into the world, to like follow that and trust in it and to trust in what you're supposed to do. One thing that's really helped me in my artistic journey is meditation. And meditation became part of my life at 16 years old when I was initiated into the Vedic meditation tradition. The Vedic meditation tradition is you're given a mantra that's based on your age and gender. Everyone is given a different mantra. And then you're not supposed to say the mantra out loud or research it. You're just supposed to have it in your head so that you don't know how it's spelled and you don't bring any preconceived notions to it. And that mantra is the one thing that you have as the bridge between your regular state and your meditative state. So you close your eyes and you say it to yourself, and it lulls your mind until your thoughts are more still and you can have more awareness in the present moment. So when I was 16, I was shown what Vedic meditation is. And at that time, I started actually applying the practice to my life, and I would meditate for 20 minutes twice a day. And I found that I was so much more creative when I did my meditation practice, because I would get so many ideas and I felt like my mind was just clean to feel creative energy and be able to use it in my life. And I still meditate today, and it's very important to me, and it helps keep me grounded and more connected to myself. Because when you do this, you're able to seek the answers within yourself, and you don't feel so hungry to try to get the answers from the outside. Because even though I really use it for my art, you can also apply it to your personal life, and you can understand that a lot of the answers you have are already within you somewhere if you're quiet enough to get it. When you have a lucid dream, you're suddenly aware that it's a dream and you can control what you are doing in that moment. So you can decide what actions you take instead of subconsciously taking them. And when you meditate on a regular basis, I think you're more lucid in your regular life. You're more aware of what you're doing and the thoughts that you're thinking, and you're not subconsciously having thoughts and then putting weight on that thought. You're lucid and you can make decisions clearly and confidently because of your meditation practice and the clarity that it brings you. It's so important to live in the present, and that's something that's a gift that I got through meditation and through also my own artistic practice. That you can only create in the present, your ideas come in the present, and the present moment is such a gift, and it's where all the possibilities for the future unfolds. You can also empower your past self in the present. Sometimes people have regrets from something they did in the past, and if you look back on it now in the present and just forgive yourself or consider yourself stronger in that moment, or maybe your memory was a little fuzzy and it wasn't actually that embarrassing, you can kind of empower yourself in the past from your present. And the present is where all the possibilities are. So it's a very beautiful moment to harness. You're living in the present when you're connected to the people around you and you are aware of the things that are in your immediate surroundings. And you can feel yourself and your body, your feet on the ground, and your breath. Your breath is a great thing to come back to in order to get yourself reoriented in the present moment if you feel like you're escaping it. My goal for the film is really for it to touch as many people as it can, and my goal is to inspire them and empower them to find their own answers within themselves. I want my films to be able to teach, heal, and inspire people, and so as many amount of people that resonate with the message that it has to share, that's what I want for the future of the film. It's about different things, but then also different collectives to bring together creatives of all different backgrounds to join together in order to share messages of help and oneness, and to just have conversations with each other to try to find a place of understanding about the different social and political issues that we're facing today. And in a perfect world, I would love to have a museum that I founded and create, but a museum that has different interactive art, and it has films from different artists and paintings and sculptures, but they're all meaningful in some way, and they help to share a collective message of healing, awakening, inspiring, and it would be really uplifting to people of color and marginalized voices and help them share their work into the world and try to bring us forth into a brighter future. If I was talking to someone that wanted to be a filmmaker and wanted to be a creative, I would say that know that your voice is unique, and there's really only one voice that has the same nuances and the same story and vision as yours, because so many people have these tools of filmmaking and tools of making art, but people have completely different styles, and each style brings something different to this planet. And so I would say if you have the passion to do something and to be creative, then that dream is also yearning to have your voice and to have your story be told. So follow your passion, and you can make it happen. Right now, Light and Dark is going through different film festivals. It just premiered at the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors, which is a visionary art museum founded by Alex Gray. And it played at that really beautiful festival, and it's going to continue to play in more private spaces such as those. But you can always see where it's going to be played on my own Instagram at Anatola Araba. And then in the future, it'll definitely be released online for the world to see. And so I would say stay posted and keep updated for when it's released so that you can see it at your own home or wherever it's playing. My Instagram is at Anatola Araba. That's spelled Anatola. You can also find more of my work, visual art, podcasts, and videos on my website, which is www.anatolaaraba.com. That's Anatola Araba.com.